2016 was a great year for sports, especially if you were a Chicago Cubs fan. After 108 long years of disappointment and struggle, the Cubs finally won the World Series, and the sweet taste of victory was theirs. Cubs fans were filled with emotion, and while the team, franchise, and fans cherished every minute in the spotlight, there was a very special team in South Bend, Indiana, that deserved a spotlight of their own: the South Bend Cubs. Now, they may not get all the recognition of their big brother in Chicago, but some exceptional players, coaches, and staff, as well as the owner, Andrew Berlin, were doing some remarkable things on their own. They made such a name for themselves by giving back to the community that they even got the chairman and owner of the Chicago Cubs, Tom Ricketts, to come to Four Winds Field in South Bend and throw out the first pitch. 2016 was a great year for the Cubs organization, and 2017 is about to get even better. In this episode of Beyond the Offseason, we share the story of how the South Bend Cubs and some of their players made a difference at St. Paul's Retirement Community in South Bend, Indiana. So tell me about St. Paul's.
Yeah, as you can tell, it just brings a smile to my face. It's such a great partnership that we have with them. This year we had 3 players actually stay at the retirement community. We were approached by them back in the beginning of the year about having some guys living there. They wanted to try this intergenerational living situation, so we reached out to a couple of our incoming players, and here we are 5-6 months later, and it's been a huge hit. Not only for our players have said it's made a major impact on them this summer. And as one guy said, he goes, "I have 300 grandma and grandpas here to watch over me." And then now Tanner Griggs is there. So, it's just been a great thing. And, hopefully we've been able to bring a lot to the citizens over there, the seniors over there. And they've come out to games, and it's just been a fun project.
Now, are you going to continue to do this program every year?
Yeah, this is something we want to do each and every year. And obviously this program works based on the caliber of guys that we have staying there. And this year, for our first year, we hit it out of the park. I mean, the guys that we had there, they took them fishing, they'd eat breakfast with them, and they would help with everything that they needed.
It's probably nicer than any apartment that they could get, just moving here, not knowing anything. They have an instant family food, welcoming committees, and I heard that they make them little snacks for the road trips.
They make them snacks all the time. They have boards up there tracking how they play each day, who they're playing, and they've truly followed it. I mean, they created fan club t-shirts for them, which they wear out at the ballpark. Really, the folks there embrace these guys. It really was like these guys have became their kids, and they have a vested interest.
July 6th of this summer, I finally got promoted to the South Bend Cubs.
When you first came to South Bend with the South Bend Cubs, there's a special place where you're living right now. So tell me how all of that happened. Like when you got the call, you're here with the Cubs, you come into town. Tell me from there how you transitioned into St. Paul's.
So I got the call, and I knew I was going to have to live somewhere, and I got in communication with my buddy Carson Sands. Me and him were actually in the same draft class. I said, "Hey man, do you have maybe a spot that I could stay?" He's like, "Yeah, I think I can work something out." Within a few weeks there, I had a welcoming party for myself, and that's how things kicked off. And ever since then, things have been great there. And we like to be involved with them. And other than the welcoming party for myself, we had about once or twice a month we have a gathering with them, a luncheon. We get about 6 or 7 of the residents for each, me and my roommate. And we'll have lunch with them, just visit. They tend to come to a few of the games. One day before the game, we got to tour them of everything on our facility. So we got to take them on the concourse, got to take them on the field, take them to our locker room, took them inside here into the Performance Center, and they really enjoyed it.
So they probably look at you as a grandson, and you probably look at them as family, extended family, grandparents. And
there's also, they're really cool. There's a few ladies in there that will bake me cookies, chocolate-covered strawberries, try to get me unhealthy, but I'll take it.
Here's what else the South Bend Cubs and Andrew Berlin are doing to give back to the community. So Big Brothers Big Sisters is just one organization that you take part in. What are some of the others that the South Bend Cubs they get involved with, or what are some other things that you expect to do in the future?
Well, we're very active with both of the hospitals in the area, both major hospital systems here. very active with the Salvation Army, the YMCA, and a few other neighborhood organizations. We have terrific neighbors around the ballpark, but there are also, churches that we're helpful with, and so I have to tell you, we're lucky enough to have the resources, the financial resources to help, and again, it makes the organization and all of our employees proud that we do special things for the community.
This past year, the Chicago Cubs won the World Series and brought the trophy home to Chicago. Today, I had the opportunity to talk with Andrew Berlin as he made it possible for that trophy to come to South Bend. Well, you have done a lot for the community, and ever since you came here and this became the South Bend Cubs, it has really just changed downtown South Bend.
Yeah.
People are really excited, you feel the energy, the attendance is unbelievable.
We've had a record-breaking attendance every single year for the last 5 years, even when we were the South Bend Silverhawks. So this is a wonderful sports community, and they do respond to the value proposition we have in this ballpark. Great experience for the fans, great baseball, but now with the Cubs affiliation, it has more of a romantic attachment, more of an intimate attachment with generations of Cub fans in the area that have longed for a moment like this where we get this kind of hardware in our city, in our region.
Now, were you at the game?
Yes.
That they actually would tell us about that.
The most emotionally draining game I've ever been to. I mean, you say it's spring training, you say to the players, and everyone says that we want to play the last out of the season. And of course, that's the last out of the last World Series game. Well, here we needed not just 7 games, we needed extra innings to win this. The roller coaster of emotions. I mean, Dexter Fowler hits that leadoff home run, it's 1-0, it's tied 1-1. And then we go up 5-1, and then it goes to 5-3, and then it goes to 6-3, and then 6-6, and then 8-6, and then 8-7. I mean, the lead changes and the come from behind. I mean, the Cleveland Indians were incredible in that game and coming from behind, but the Cubs were better. But the roller coaster, even with a rain delay, I have to say there were tears rolling down my cheeks at the end of that game, like thousands and millions of others. It was an amazing experience.
I bet. Now, winning the World Series trophy, the Chicago Cubs, what does that do for an organization like the South Bend Cubs?
Well, the aura effect, or the halo effect we call it, is extraordinary. We expect bigger crowds. We'll have the World Series trophies coming back out to South Bend in April, slightly warmer weather. But just in terms of the type of play that we have here, we really have great players in the farm system. The Cubs have done such a great job in populating the farm system with really top world-class athletes and talent. We're going to see some great baseball. What
do you plan to do, and what are some of your goals for this year to come?
Well, obviously we have goals in terms of the park and the customer experience. Our fans are going to come, and of course we're always looking to improve the service, the food, our hospitality. We've already broken ground on a huge development on our home run fence and the fence around the ballpark. We're building 4 apartment buildings with balconies overlooking the field, which will be a luxury apartments for folks that want to live in a beautiful part of the city with great vistas of the city, but able to watch a game from their balconies. But more than that, what I'm really, really proud about is we've been able to attract other developers, other restaurants, bars, retail into downtown South Bend. And that's the deal we really made with the city when we came here, is that we didn't want to just have a great ball club and a great stadium, but we wanted to attract development all over. And that's the part where you see the city really start to pick up. And there's a different vibe, I think you would agree, in the city in the last 5 years, and certainly in the last couple of years. The city has really come alive downtown, and it's very, very exciting to be a part of that.
It is exciting, and when you brought the South Bend Cubs here, it really made South Bend a destination place. We have people coming from people from Chicago come to see the South Bend Cubs, and we go to see them. So it's one big happy family.
It is. I mean, the fans give it to the players give it to the fans. It's a very symbiotic relationship between the Cubs and the fans right now, and to be able to do this. I mean, the last time we won a trophy, Teddy Roosevelt was the president. The last time we won the World Series, there were 46 states in the United States. Okay, it wasn't 50 states.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but boy, we are stacked with talent right now. And the young players that won the World Series last year, oh my gosh, they're still young. So that athleticism and youth, it bodes well for South Bend, the region, and the Chicago Cubs for many years to come.
Well, you have certainly done a lot for this community and for the fans. They are so excited. They're lined up outside right now, waiting to get in and see this. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for what you've done for South Bend and the downtown community.
Likewise, Lisa, you've done a great job too. Thank you very much.
The shortest distance between here and here. Between here and here. Between here and here. The shortest distance between here and here is here. For the freshest produce, count on Martin's Produce Market. Guaranteed 200%.